Good morning, students. Last class we discussed some of the basic concepts of computer science. That is, okay, types of different types of languages, low level languages, high level languages. In that low level language, okay, can be divided into this can be divided into two types. First one is machine level language. Second one is okay assembly level language. After that, third generation language. So which is high level language. According to generation, machine level language is first generation, assembly level language is second generation, third generation is high level language. The examples of high level language: C, C++, Java, Python. These are all third generation languages. Today we discuss okay remaining continuation of the previous class, that is okay compiler and interpreter. So compiler and interpreter and their differences. Interpreter, their differences. So what is meant by compiler and interpreter? Last class we discussed translation programs. Assembler is a translator program, like that compiler and interpreter also translator programs. Assembler translates second generation language to first generation language, that is assembly level language to machine level language. Here compiler and interpreter, these software, system software, these are system softwares. These are system software or language translators. So these translators are used for converting high level language program to machine level language, that is HLL to MLL, machine level language. So HLL is a file you are writing high level language program like C, C++, Java, Python. These files are called source file. Source file can be converted to object file or object code. Object file or object code. So source code can be converted to object code. So in this translation we are using both either compiler or interpreters. So these two softwares are used for converting source code to object code, that is high level language code to machine level language code. So difference between compiler and interpreter. These two are first one is these two are system software. System software programs. This one also system software. This can be used for okay translator program from high level language to low level language, that is machine level language. This one is also translator program. This can be converted from high level language to low level language. Then what is the difference between compiler and interpreter? Compiler okay translates source code file to object code file. Interpreter also translates source code file to object code file. Object code file is nothing but machine level language code. Okay, so in this translation, the compiler takes all the lines of the okay system, all the lines are executed at a time. Okay, source code lines are executed at a time. So all the lines are executed here at a time. Here line by line. It takes at a time one line and it converts it and interpret that line to high level language to machine level language. If any errors are there in interpreter. Okay, so it converts first one line to another line. If that line consists of any errors, so it resume that interpretation process. After rectifying that error in that line, single line, then execution starts from next line. In this way, it converts a high level language program into machine level language program line by line. It takes more time. It takes more time. Why? Because it converts line by line. It converts all the lines at a time. That's why when it compares to interpreter, compiler takes less time. When it compares to execution time, compiler takes less time when it compares to interpreter. When it compares to compiler, the execution process from translation process from high level language program to machine level language program, it takes more time. Why? Because here it takes all the lines not at a time. It takes one line at a time. So that's why it executes line by line. First it takes source code one line, then it converted into object code line. Here all the lines are takes at a time, and it convert high level language program to machine level language program. So next, in this compiler not present after the execution, compiler software not present in the memory. After execution completed, not present in the main memory. Here memory means main memory or RAM. But here it is present in the memory. It is present in the memory after execution. It is present in the memory after execution completes. Then it takes some memory whenever you execute line by line. It consumes memory in RAM, but it not present in the after completion of execution from HLL to MLL. It doesn't take any memory. That's why the speed, according to speed, this one is slow process. This one is slow process. Execution process is slow. This one is execution process is fast. When it's compared to execution process is fast when it compares to interpreter. So these are the differences and similarities between both compiler and interpreter. These two are system software translator programs. These two are translator programs from high level language program to machine level language programs. That is third generation language to first generation language programs. So here the compilation process, all the source code file takes at a time, and all the lines in that high level language program converted into or translated into MLL. If any errors are there, it displays with line numbers. So then we rectify all the errors in the debugging process and then recompile the source file into object file. In this way the compiler process is going on. But in interpreter, it takes source code file line by line, and it takes much more time when it compares to compiler, and it executes one line at a time to convert high level language program to machine level language program. According to fourth point, it takes less time to convert or translate high level language program to machine level language program. It takes more time. Why? Because it takes at a time one line and converts that line into another machine language line code. Okay, so when it execute in the execution process, after completion of execution process, it is not present in the memory, it is present in the reside in the memory. That is the main difference. That is disadvantages, one of the disadvantages in for slow process interpreter. Here it is a fast processing, it is slow processing. So coming to introduction of Python. Python is a high level programming language. It is a high level HLL program. This one is high level language programming language. Okay, so this one is interpreted language. Interpreted language. So for translation purpose, either compiler or interpreter can be used for converting high level language program to machine level language program. But in this Python, we are writing in high level language code. That high level language code can be converted by using the interpreted language. So here translation program is interpreter. That means line by line. It takes one line at a time to convert HLL into MLL. HLL into MLL. So it is a high level language program. So like C, C++, Java, Python is also one of the high level language program. Okay, C is a compiler based programming language. C++ is also compiler based programming language. And that Java is a interpreted based programming language. Python is also a interpreted programming language. So coming to this Python language is an object oriented programming language. Object oriented programming language. What is meant by object oriented programming language? C++, Java, Python, these are all object oriented programming languages. So object oriented means, so this is calling it as object OOPL. OOPL stands for object oriented programming language. In that object oriented programming, every aspect, okay, in the programming considered as an object. Every aspect, every considered as an object in the real world. In the real world. Okay. So here we are using classes and objects concepts. Classes and objects concepts. So what is meant by object and what is meant by class? A class is an abstraction of a, so a class is an abstraction of a collection of objects. But one object is an example of a class. For example, fruit. Fruit is a class. We are not defining any fruit. We are not defining any fruit. It consists of some characteristics. But examples of fruits are objects. Fruit means it is having some characteristics like sweet. Okay. But examples of fruits are examples of this class. Fruit class. Banana is a fruit. Orange is a fruit. Mango is a fruit. So the difference between class and object is it is an abstraction. It is having characteristics. But all the objects are created by this class only. So fruits are, examples of fruits are banana, orange, mango. Okay, these are different characteristics. Okay, according to taste. Okay, so that's why fruit is calling it as class. The one-time objects are called as banana, orange, mango. These are all objects. So like that, Java and C++, Python is also calling it as object oriented programming language. Everything related to real world environment. We are accessing all the objects and classes in the real world environment. That's why it is calling it as object oriented programming language. Coming to next. So it is interpreted language, object oriented programming language. This Python language was introduced in February 1991. It was introduced, Python language introduced in Feb 1991. So it was introduced in February 1991. So the name, how this name was depicted, Python, okay, it is a name of BBC comedy show. BBC comedy show. From that, this name is, the comedy show name is Monty Python's Circus, the famous BBC comedy show. This was Monty Python's Flying Circus. Okay, so the programming language Python was named after famous BBC comedy show Flying Circus. Here it is, flying. So from this comedy show, the name introduced like Python. So this is the main introduction of the Python programming language. So it has some characteristics. It has some pluses and minuses. Every human being having some pluses and minus. That is advantages and disadvantages. Like that, here every programming language is also having some pluses and minuses and characteristics also. So we discuss some of the characteristics of Python. Okay, so next coming to what is meant by CPT, computational thinking. Computational thinking. What is meant by computational thinking? For every programming language, what is meant by program? A program is a sequence of steps. A program is a sequence of instructions, sequence of statements or instructions to solve a particular problem. To solve a particular problem in the real world. So a program is nothing but it is a sequence of statements or instructions, a sequence of or a group of statements or instructions to solve a particular problem. Okay, so when you write programs by using computer software, okay, with high level language programming, we are using some logic. We must develop programs by using logic. This logic is calling it as computational thinking. So computational thinking is a logical thinking or thought process. It is a thought process. A computational CPT stands for computational thinking or logic. So okay, it is a thought process. It is an idea, thought process or plan or idea or thinking or logic. These are all similar words to represent computational thinking. So to write programs in any programming language, whether it is high level language program or assembly level language program or machine level language program, you write some program, okay, that is sequence of instruction, the logic must be implemented. Okay, that logic is calling it as computational thinking, that is calling it as CPT. So CPT is a thought process or a plan or idea to solve a particular problem by using a programming language. So this is the definition of CPT, that is computational thinking. Next, this computational thinking has some characteristics. CPT consists of some characteristics. First one is decomposition. CPT consists of characteristics of CPT, means computational thinking. First one is decomposition. So decomposition means a complex problem or program can be logically separated into smaller set of subproblems. Breaking down into smaller set of subproblems. So a complex problem, a single problem can be divided into smaller set of subproblems. All the individual subproblems can be solved individually. After that, all the individual subproblems can be integrated into solve a particular subproblem. So a complex problem can be divided into smaller set of subproblems. After that, after completion of all divided into breaking down into smaller set of subproblems, all these subproblems can be solved separately or individually. After completion that, all the subproblems integrate into one problem. In this way, so problems can be solved when we develop softwares. This process, this decomposition can be achieved. So in this way, the Python also consists of when we are doing logic, that is CPT, computational thinking, this characteristic must be implemented. One is pattern recognition. Or data representation. Pattern recognition and data representation. Pattern recognition means we are dealing a complex problem or a big problem. That problem can be divided into smaller set of subproblems. Then we identify in all subproblems. Okay, in all subproblems we identify patterns. Patterns means here similarities or differences. Similarities or differences in all the subproblems. Okay, first we identify, okay, all the objects in that problem. First we identify all the objects in that problem. Then after that we identify for every object is there any similarities, okay, or differences having any all these objects. So this identification is very, very important when you are dealing any logic or computational thinking. So pattern recognition of the objects and their patterns or similarities, differences we identified. After that we represent all these objects in a data format. So we represent the data by using these objects. This is the concept of second characteristic, that is pattern recognition. And is there any trends in that data? We identify the is there any trends and analysis of the data. We represent all these objects in a data manner. Okay, after that we identify the any data analysis and trends in data. This is the concept of pattern recognition and data representation. The third one is the third characteristic is data abstraction. Abstraction. Or this is also calling it as data abstraction. So data abstraction means, so we take only external details, not under the internal details of the problem. So if we focused on, when you are dealing any problem, when you are solving any problem by using any logic, okay, by using computational thing, we focus on very important things only. Okay, that is very important things only. That is abstract the data. We focus only important things. That is filtering here, filtering the unwanted things in that logic, in that problem solving. So only we focused on important things that are to solve that by using this logic. That is the concept of data abstraction. Abstraction refers to identifying unwanted things, and we filter these unwanted things. We focus on very clear problem understanding and solving techniques. This is the concept of abstraction. Okay, so coming to generalization. Next one is generalization. So generalization means it is one of the topic in abstraction. So in that generalization we are dealing problems, okay, into the real world. That is consists of classes and objects. So first we identify the generalization of the problem. That is, we identify two or more problem domains and adopt all these techniques in one problem to another problem. Differences these two problems. This is the concept of generalization. So we differentiate two domains. We implement two different logics in the same problem. So which one is the best one, we identify and implement that logic in that program. This is the concept of generalization. Next, coming to algorithms. So every logic of the program or problem, first we identify all the sequence of steps. After that, all the sequence of steps can be with logic can be implemented in a sequence of steps. That is calling it as algorithm. Already defined this algorithm definition in previous class. So algorithm is a sequence of steps to solve a particular problem in any programming language. It is a general concept. It is not particular to any programming language. It is general thing. We write algorithms in general way, not related to any program like C, C++, Java. After writing algorithm, we develop all these steps into pictorial representation, that is graphical representation, that is calling it as flow chart. After that, we implement this algorithm steps into programming language. So in that algorithm, we are not dealing any programming language, that is C, C++, Java, Python, like that. Just we write all the logic starting to ending step. Okay, consider every logic and implement in a generalized manner, not related to any programming language. These are the characteristics of computational thinking, that is CPT. So the characteristics are, first one is entire problem can be divided into smaller set of individual set of sub problems, breaking down, that is first one, decomposition. Second one is pattern recognition or data representation. Third one is data abstraction. We are not considering only internal details. Okay, we consider only external things to solve, how to solve this problem. Okay, not focusing on outside of the problem solving techniques. Okay, so filtering the unwanted things, that is calling it as data abstraction. Okay, next coming to, so every problem solving technique follows this characters, that is generalization. Okay, we are developing the problem in two different techniques. First, we identify which one is the best one, which one is the best logic in a generalized manner. Okay, in that way we solve and develop programs by using CPT. Next, fourth one, algorithm. After that we write all the steps in a sequence manner. The sequence is from starting to ending. This is calling it as algorithm. After that we write all these steps in a pictorial representation, that is calling it as flowchart. So, but this algorithm consists of some characteristics. This fourth point, algorithm consists of some characteristics. Follow all these characteristics. So, algorithm is so fourth one, algorithm. Algorithm is a sequence of steps to solve a particular problem. From starting to ending. In that we are writing step-by-step process. It is a step-by-step process. So we write all these algorithm steps from start to end. Begin, end, start or stop. Okay. In this way we write all the steps in a particular manner. Okay. After that, here all these steps are in a clear manner. We write all the steps in a clear manner. Okay. In a refinement manner. Okay. Logic can be developed more clearly. So implement the logic more clearly. So we implement divide and conquer method. Divide and conquer means we divide the entire problem into sub-problems. Okay. So divide and conquer. Clear manner. Correctness. It consists of correctness. Reliability. Correctness. Readability. These are the characteristics of algorithm. So we are writing all the problem solving steps into a step-by-step manner. All these steps are maintains all these characteristics. So we are writing we maintain readability and reliability and correctness. We write correct logic here. All the steps in a correct manner to solve and to achieve the correct output. Starting, we implement one problem starting from first step to reach end. When you are reaching this step, our required output can be, we meet our requirement. Okay, that is correctness. Okay, so we meet all the requirements of the problem. We meet all the requirements of the problem by using this algorithm. So we maintain readability, reliability, clear manner. Okay, so clearly we define all the steps. No confusion, no ambiguity or confusion. So here no any step doesn't contain any ambiguity or confusion. So we define all the steps more clear-cut manner. Okay. Suppose if any step consists of any confusion, we clear all the confusions and refine that step in a more clear manner. Okay. So logic more clearly, divide and conquer. We implement divide and conquer methodology. So these are the characteristics of CPT, means computational thinking and algorithm characteristics. So we implement logic in algorithms. So the classic is calling it as computational thinking. It is a thought process to solve a particular problem in a particular domain. This is the today's concept we complete. Okay, next class we discuss Python's minuses and pluses and minuses. Python is having many pluses when it compares to minuses. That's why it is a high level programming, more popular as easy to understand programming